unique vantage point from multiple private sector organizations, having led them through changes in culture. Over to you, Mr. Thiru.
I don't know, good morning or good afternoon, and maybe 10 minutes ahead, rewinding the clock, good afternoon. I will not take much of a time like consultants, because so I will go straight to the point. Only thing is, let me look for this. So what is culture? A lot of theory has come, and one or two things which inspires me is that culture is like an oxygen which you don't notice. When I joined Hindustan Lever, I used to go to the shop floor every day, and then I found rain was smelling differently, hammam was smelling differently, Lux was smelling differently. After 3-4 days or 3 months, when I went inside the shop floor, I could not distinguish anything. I joined another company, there was a rat smell on the day of joining in the inside. I called all the fellows and then said, what is this? I am joining, this rat smell is there. And they said, no, there is no smell. And after 3 months, there was another rat smell which I could not smell. So everybody can say culture is an oxygen, we don't notice it, but there is essential to life. It is the responsibility of the HR leaders to move out and then come back and then see whether you need to change the culture. I am not saying we cannot transplant culture, but shaping the culture is the responsibility of the HR heads. Climate and culture are different. And one example, Titanic had a great climate. We are all happy with the employee engagement survey, climate survey and all that, and then 85 out of 100 or 85 out of 200, we don't know what is that denominator, but we are very happy that that day climate was good, and then we are very happy, and then we get our promotion and increments, but if we talk about actual employee engagement, that is something different. Speed is essential. And when you are thirsty, it is too late to dig a well. So it is the responsibility of the HR heads to proactively look for what can happen in the future and then prepare today, because if you are going to do something for tomorrow, then it's a problem. And recently when we had a seminar, I wrote something to a very old gentleman what to speak in the conference. I said, if everybody is thinking alike, then nobody is thinking. So it is the responsibility of the HR leaders to think differently. And everybody will say, no, we should have teamwork, group work, all these things we can talk. But thinking has to be different. Acting has to be single-minded focus on acting. There was a competency mapping exercise which we have been doing with a lot of consulting companies. They said strategic thinking and acting. I said strategic thinking is fine, but you have to, strategically you cannot act. You have to think strategically and form a team, and then you should sorry to use the word, blindly act. Strategic thinking and blindly act only will work in any company. So what is the result? In building a new tomorrow, challenge will be there, tension will be there, creative tension, and inspiration. So unless you are inspired to do something better, nobody can help you. And in fact, one of the McKinsey studies said they are going to dismantle, destructive, all these things, the English they have used. And somebody has destructed something. Then they coined constructive destruction for transformation. So if you are buggering up something, use this terminology and then say constructive destruction for transformation, then you can grow in life. Value-based leadership, whatever value is there, please follow the value of the organization. And then seeing, being, and achieving is very easy to see. What is that? Ulta wala? Anybody? Huh? Relating. It is by design I have put differently, because relating to people is very, very tough. You can do all this nonsense, but relate with people well. The other one is, yes, cultural fit has to happen. In JK, we do this cultural fit. We have competency mapping and all that. And then we engage with youngsters. We engage with 60 plus. We engage with 75 plus, and also millennials and baby bloomers. I used to jokingly tell what is the difference between baby bloomers and millennials. One is a problem, another is an opportunity. So people really got a shock of their life. I said, problem means you should go and ask the experienced people what we should not do, so they can tell from their experience what you should not do. And if you go and ask young people what you should do, what we should do, then they will do the right thing, because they get connectivity and do. Quite often we do the difference. Then you will have a problem. So life is simple, Don't make complicated. The other one is onboarding is very, very important for cultural integration. Socialization, all these things are important, not the theory part, I'm not looking at it. You should have the ability to smell the rat at periodic intervals, not daily. If you are making it daily an issue, then you will be out before the probation period. But periodically, yes, you should move out, bring the external in perspective through consultant, through some study, dipstick study, statistical validation of the data, not opinion, then move forward in life. Other one is employee engagement and vendor development. Vendor, involving vendor also, this JK Tire, we have done something. Customer will love a company and only when employees love this company. Other one is use of social media. Nowadays, a lot of young people are there. We did this HR conference, and then somebody in a paper, Ankita Singh, she shared this photograph. And so you can always bring technology, digitization, etc. for valuing. So what we did very recently, every year we used to have an annual conference. This time we said, okay, well, let us call people from outside. And then we partnered with Youth Me, one of the consultants. And we gave 15-day window for something they should connect with a particular young organization in Chennai Tire Plant. So they did something. We came across what a wonderful talent that these people have, and so many 50,000 views and votes and things like that. You can always create interest using social media even before coming for a routine annual conference, 4-day conference, if you are creative. Strong and agility. So we recently did it as a 125-year-old organization, culture. Everybody will teach you, no, this is how we talk, this is how we dress, you cannot raise your voice, all these things. We said, okay, let us do what is this strategic agility or strong agility questionnaire. There are about 60 questions. We went through this, and the cultural strength and agility. To our surprise, maybe this is the theoretical part. What is this? We can explain. To my what is cultural drift? It is contingency of the day, which most of you must be familiar. Somebody making a call, suddenly every department is creating some nonsense, and then your behavior and your day-to-day work is desired by outside. And chaotic, lot of challenges there, but definitely, yes, agility is missing their own breed of confusion. Hyperactive, so that is what we call it. The other one is strong culture. This photograph I have selected, elephant. Earlier, nowadays they are putting, a lion or something walking, make in India. This is elephant. Very strong culture, but lacks agility. Working inward. So yesterday's solution is the best way forward. In 1966, when this problem was there, Thiru, so TK, you sleep and then come back after 15 minutes, then you will just tell what should be done. So myopic is very different. Strong agility is the one which, by setting the context, one can agree new ways of thinking, new ways of behavior. That is it. Here one should be very, very careful. So I have not discovered this word. Crony capitalism, everybody is aware. Crony socialism is very, very important. In any organization, I'm not talking, blaming any company. Crony socialism means a group of people, I'm not using the word a team of people, a group of people decide what is required for the company, and they don't question status quo, and they celebrate success at the cost of taxpayers. So beware of unhealthy normal in organization. If everything is normal, you have a problem. That means you are not measuring the right things. So that is the point I'm making. So what we did, 125-year-old organization, we said agility and innovation. So we gave this topic to the people, and then there were 16 teams all over India. They all came, and then on 2nd June in FICCI in Delhi, they made a presentation. And this is the kind of maybe 12 I have put. What is innovation, what is agility, what each and every unit will do. So every year some conference is happening. Somebody thought differently, talking about innovation and agility, told them that agility is execution, and we also told 1 ounce of execution is better than 1 ton of theory on innovation. So what is innovation? Innovation and agility we have defined, and this is what we have done. And even in HR conference, can I take 2 minutes? Even in HR conference, every year we used to have an HR conference, and then people come from tire, people will come talk about their glory. From cement, somebody will come. Then I wrote a simple mail to one of our HR heads in the location that can you go outside and then benchmark one simple activity in that region and come and make a presentation and tell me in advance. So one fellow did not even read the mail. He said, we are giving education scholarship for workers and then the contract labor also. This is the best practice that I am doing. So he wanted to publicize that. What I wanted him to do is that go outside and then see. So they are happy whatever they are doing. Then I said, no, internal conference is out. Let us bring people from outside and then let them talk about it. We invited TV Rao, we invited Aon Hewitt, we invited diversity, we invited. So this is not about the topic. The thing I am saying is that even in an organization, if you decide, if you have a conviction, you can try to help change the culture. This was an excellent opportunity. Then we formed some 6 teams. They went and did all these exercises. A simple diploma holder, how other companies recruiting better, if you go and learn from outside, then you can try to improve that. So the point I am making, learning has to be external, benchmark. So law of the land, yes, we should follow. Rule of the state, we should follow, but we should always follow the benchmark. Otherwise, HR heads, there are so many doctorates, there are some PhDs, and everybody, when you have a common meeting, they will come and tell, what kind of discussion we can have. But ultimately, I ask this only 3 questions. Are you following the law of the land? Are you following the rule of the state in which you are operating? And what is the benchmark practice you want to look for outside? Unless this is done, you can continue to be happy with whatever you are having in. This is my last slide. So we had about 75 questions, 120 questions, 50 questions. Ultimately, somebody decided we will ask only these 5 questions and decide about employee satisfaction index. How satisfied are you with your employment? How satisfied are you? Very, very satisfied. Would you recommend your company to your friends and all that? Yes? Who has the guts to tell no? You will always say yes. Would you apply for the job again? Yes, definitely. You have to have a fallback option. No, when you go outside and you have to have a fallback action. How would you rate the motivation of direct colleagues within your organization? Excellent, 8 out of 10. Then, in your opinion, would you rate the performance competition of the company? How will you rate? We are the best. No. So if you are happy with these 5 questions and then say we are doing excellent job, then there is some problem. If people are thinking alike, then I am again reiterating, nobody is thinking. You have to think differently. That is why in the morning they said diversity. Diversity means not gender diversity. In my previous company, I went all the way to Kanyakumari to select somebody in a minority institution. Then all the way to Assam to select some GET from minority institution. And some other company where region, where there is no industry, there engineering colleges, there you go and bring. So bring diversified thinking. Then create teamwork, not groupism, not crony socialism. Then things will be all right. With all these things, you will also get tired sometimes because you are doing the right thing for the country, you are doing the right thing for the organization. Sometimes you have to engage with people who are not updated themselves. So that Aristotle comes to our rescue. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. So if your boss says something, you cannot suddenly say, no, this is not acceptable, sir. So go back to Aristotle, and then you are an educated mind, and then entertain that thought, but do the right thing for the company and for the country. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Mr. Thiru. I think the core point you made, there are lots of ingrained cultures within large organizations, established cultures. It's very important to keep an open mind and allow the inflow of new ideas and new perspectives and periodically smell the rat. I think I like that analogy very much. We'll move on to Mr. Kaushal now, and with his rich experience in the public sector, I think he'll bring a different perspective onto managing healthy performance culture in public sector organizations.
I have presentation, but I'll speak. Presentation will take a long time. Okay. Now I can say good afternoon. There is no doubt. Good afternoon to all of you, my co-panelists, and all participants. Culture, organization culture is a very important thing. I had joined my first job 36 years back in 1980 in a private company. I have seen private company culture. I have seen 34 years in public sector culture. Culture is important, no doubt about it. Another thing is that culture is changing. I can tell you what was the culture 30, 35 years back and what is the culture now. And persons like me can predict what will be the culture tomorrow. Because things are changing very fast. It should change. Things are changed for a better tomorrow. That is what we can see. When we had joined in early 80s, there used to be specialized manpower. Everybody will do his job only. No multitasking, no multi-skills, nothing sort of like that. There used to be a group of drivers, about 20 drivers. They'll keep on fighting the whole day. Driver will do only driver's job. Public sector will have their own carpool. They cannot engage private people. So many jobs, cyclo-styling, typing, PN's job. Regular people were employed, engaged. Some plus points, some negative points. Regular jobs were given to group D, which we call class 4 employees. Yes, that was also a culture. Slowly, things started changing. In 90s, things started changing. When economy was opened up, competition was there, competition with multinationals came. Then people started thinking that we have to do something. Because in good old days, in early 80s, cost of manpower was very high. Cost of manpower was very high, regular employees, very strong unions, lot of influence by the government, especially in public sector. What our seniors were handling, how they were handling, that was a different, altogether a different game. So cost of manpower was very high, regular employees were there, trade unions were very strong. There was nothing like benchmarking. There was nothing like benchmarking. I know in IOC, in Indian Oil, in 82, one LPG bottling plant means 250 employees. So many employees will be roaming around there, some doing work and doing their own work. What I have seen is, if you ask them that you do something else, they will not do it. Then they will bring union, then there will be a problem. So slowly, those things, companies started realizing, management started realizing, and the main factor was the cost. Benchmarking came. MIS department, Management Information System, that became important. Manpower studies. Manpower studies started little late. Early 80s, late 70s, there was nothing like manpower studies in public sector. So slowly things started changing, benchmarking started, and slowly in 90s, things started changing altogether. I had gone to a bank. I'll just take 2-3 minutes on this. I had gone to a bank, a private bank. I'll not name the bank. 4 girls were managing the whole branch. They are using the computer, they are authorizing, they are doing marketing, they are talking to you, they are giving you cash, they are making entries. And I had gone to a public sector bank in early 80s. If we go to a bank and ask for money, they'll say, usko bula lijiye, wo bahar khade dhoop sek rahe hain. That was also a culture. That was also a culture. This is also a culture which we have seen, at least I have seen, and I sometimes remember that see the difference. Four girls are managing the whole branch, and there was a time when even your regular employees, they were having a different attitude, they were having a different culture, they were having a different this thing. So things started changing, and things are changing very fast. In case we see the good old days, large number of regular employees, I have told, casual contract labor. This was not there in 30, 40, 35 years back. There used to be a demand from the union to regularize casuals, regularize contract labor. You cannot increase the number. Slowly, this outsourcing started. Even on non-core activities, people started engaging, people were engaging regular manpower. That was a time in good old days. But now, slowly, things changed. Globalization, people were not knowing, people were not afraid. Slowly, it came, competition came. And now we started comparing the cost, we started comparing everything with global standards. And in the days to come, it will further go up. Only Italy's survival of the fittest. Lean and thin organization. That is going to come. You keep limited manpower, keep good manpower, keep motivated manpower, keep highly paid manpower, but the number should not go up. That is what is going to come. That is what has started coming. And in the board, one of my director was saying, we were having 10,000 sanctions in Central Warehousing Corporation. Now we are having 5,000. I thought, we don't need even 5,000. We need little less, but we need different type of people. A person who can do multi-job. Skills are required are different. Computerization has taken a big way. It has changed the total culture of the organization. The way computerization is taking place, it should take place. Your cost comes down, and your efficiency goes up, and other factors like are not there. So that is also a one factor which is coming in a very, very big way. Jobs are becoming obsolete. A new culture. There were some jobs 25, 30 years back which are not there today. There used to be different type of jobs which are not there. So what I am thinking is that in the days to come, it will be different type of organization. Number of youngsters is increasing. Their aspirations are different. In good old days, number of youngsters was not like this the way we see today. Number of youngsters are increasing. They have aspirations. Their education level is different. Their thinking is different. They need a different type of treatment. In our organization, I started process of induction, which is very, very important. When you recruit a person, the person is new, he doesn't know about the organization culture. At least you talk to him, tell him what are your expectations, what does he expect from you, what you expect from him. At least basic things about the organization should be conveyed to him. Induction and training is very important in setting up a good organization culture. Culture affects individual, and individuals also, their behavior affects the organization culture. It is both ways. In case the organization culture is good, image of the organization is different, then the talent is attracted, and your organization standing is different. And I heard one managing director saying that I changed everything. I changed the sale, turnover, everything, but I could not change the culture of this organization. One person was saying about 2 years back, he says, I have changed everything in this organization. Turnover has gone up, profits have gone up, everything has gone up, but I could not change the culture. Then I asked him why you could not do it. He says it is very difficult, very, very difficult. Another thing in public sector is, when we talk about culture, there are other factors. Governments, agencies, investigating agencies. RTI, which is not a problem for private sector. We are having a separate department to deal with RTI. And biggest problem in when your own employees started raising RTIs. What to do? They say, I have a right. I am an Indian citizen. How can you refuse? I may be your employee, but I am an Indian citizen. Any grievance conveyed through RTI. Worst type of culture. Worst type of culture. Because RTI from your own employee means that you are not listening to your employees, or they want to tell you so many things which you cannot listen, which you cannot solve. It can be both ways. It can be both ways. But public sector problems are different. That the way I am explaining to you, RTI is one issue which we handle, and then other grievances, investigating agencies. Your own employees going to investigating agencies. You see the culture. I know a case in Indian Oil. I was HR head of North. One employee from Ambala had gone to weight and measure department to bring them that you see the calibration of their tanks, they are doing some fraud. You see I am giving you a very practical example how the culture affects. Then ultimately we had to charge sheet him, and one day we terminated him. Your own employee going to outside agency and instigating them that something wrong is going on, you please come and catch hold of these people. That is the worst type of example of a culture which should not be there. Employees should not be like that. Organization should engage them, should talk to them, motivate them, and give them a lot of counseling, because things like this in today's world is not correct. Things are changing very fast. I'll take 1 or 2 minutes more because time is short. Globalization, I have told you that it is coming, and it will come in a big way. Flexibility. Flexibility is now coming, which was not there earlier. Earlier it used to be a very, very formal type of organization. In case you are a section officer, in case you are a personal officer, you cannot meet managing director. You cannot meet director. Very, very formal type of structure was there, which is, of course, now is not there. Centralization, decentralization, more of decentralization has taken place. Centralization should not be there, because more of centralization, that means that there will be more problems. Interdependence and independence. Good old days, each department used to be independent. I have seen finance fighting with marketing. Operations fighting with marketing. Marketing guy will say that you do this, operations say, I'll not do it. independence. In IOC, they had combined the two and made a marketing operations. One person in charge, you look after sale also, marketing also, you look after operations also. That was the solution which we could find. So that is another area, independence and interdependence. That is another area which we can discuss, talk. And few more things, 2-3 more things I want to say before I close. Goals, so far as organization should be now adaptive to different type of cultures, which was not there earlier. A organization which is not adaptive cannot survive. Now there will be a problem. So far as authority is concerned, it should be decentralized. Give it to your heads, give it to youngsters, they will do much better. Rules and procedures. Earlier it used to be many. Now only few. Things should be simplified. It should not be very complicated. Earlier also, speaker also said, rules and procedures should only be few, and people should follow it. Span of control. Earlier it used to be narrow, now it is wide. Specialized. Earlier it used to be specialized function, now it is shared. Teams and task force. Earlier it used to be few, now it is many. Formal and informal organization. Earlier it used to be a formal organization, now it is more and more informal. The point which I am making is, I will not take much time, I'll take only 1 minute more, that things are changing very fast. In case you want to survive in today's world, then organization has to change, organization culture has to change. Youngsters are joining, a persons with higher qualification, with computerization, with other things, they are joining. Technical know-how is must, and you should try to take care of their aspirations and accordingly change the organization culture. The best thing is win-win situation where employee is taken care and organization is taken care. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kaushal. Again, the point very clearly made that we are living in times of change, and in many aspects through globalization, breakdown of formal structures and hierarchies, changing of job profiles and roles, structures and culture have to adopt accordingly. I'll now request our last speaker, Mr. Ashish Arora, to share his thoughts. I think he's got an animation video also he wants to share about the future drivers and how the culture of organizations will be shaped by it.
Hello, check. Thank you. Check. Hello. Is this working? Hello. Hello. No, after the slide, I'll take. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Most of my people tell me I'm loud anyway, so sometimes I just don't need the mic. All right, people, sometimes it's tough to be lost because all that you wanted to say has been said already, whether in terms of research, reports, public sector, private sector. Now, I run a consulting company, right? And so there are two people who are part of consulting companies. And consultants don't give anything free. Right? So, of course, for all my consulting, all my thoughts I charge. Right? And so, therefore, I'm going to only raise questions, which are tough questions. And then hoping that you will come back to me and say, okay, how do we solve this problem? And I'm going to charge you for that. Right. Okay. Just a quick point. We're talking about culture for the last about an hour or so. From whatever I know, I've been working for 30 years now, though I know I don't look that old.